last night. The Greek Freak poured in 50 points, grabbed 14 rebounds, and hustled for 5 blocks to bring Milwaukee the title. And maybe even more impressive for Giannis here, he went 17 of 19 from the free throw line. He's just the 7th player to score 50 points in a finals game and the first to have at least 50 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Those numbers. Shannon, was this the greatest finals performance ever?
Skip, I tweeted last night, it's one of the 5 greatest finals performances that I believe I've seen. Like I said, Skip, look, I know there's some finals where we'll have like 30, 40 rebounds and things like that, Skip, but I don't go back that far. I can only go back to 77 because I can remember when the Sixers lost to the Portland Trail Blazers. But for me, the greatest performance that I think I've seen, it was tape delay, was Magic Johnson. I can't put it ahead of Magic, Skip, because Magic was 20 years old. He played all 5 positions. Kareem was out. I think he had an ankle injury, and he was out. He jumped center. So he played the guard point, the 2 guard, the power forward, the small forward, and the center position. He had 42, 15, 7, 3 steals and a block. He was 14 of 23, a perfect 14 of 14 from the foul line. I can't put it in front of that stat line, but I did put him in second, Skip. 50, 14, and 5. Since 1973-74, no player had ever gone 40-plus 14 with a stat line what Giannis put up last night. Another performance that I saw, and I know you will like this one, was Tim Duncan's almost quadruple-double against the Nets. And all these, Skip, these were closeout games. That's what, and Magic was on the road. See, Magic, I gave Magic also credit, Skip, because he was on the road. He was in a hostile environment. And so for him to do that. Now, I love LeBron, the game 7 against the Spurs, but I can't put it above these 3. Now, Jordan had some games. I mean, I know you're going to probably say his game 6, his walk-off, but he didn't shoot. I got these 3 I would put in my top 5.
You just swept Michael Jordan's Game 6 right under your little rug over there?
Skip, he had 1 assist and 1 rebound.
Okay. It is my turn. There is only one answer to this question, just as there's only one answer to the GOAT question, and it's Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I was there. I was at courtside. I know the magnitude. I know the stakes. Game 6 at Utah, and this is what you have to remember. And again, I'm not going to discount Magic's performance because it was very special. Real quick on Magic before I go back to Jordan. One of my all-time favorite quotes was uttered once upon a time by a Cowboys offensive lineman named Blaine Nye, before your time, went to Stanford. And it was after the Thanksgiving Day game in which Clint Longley replaced an injured Roger Staubach, I don't know if you remember this, and beat Washington with a late touchdown pass to Drew Pearson. And Blaine Nye's line was about Clint Longley. It was the triumph of an uncluttered mind. Meaning it's just a kid thrown into the fire, and he just didn't know better.
Right.
Well, I felt like Magic at, what was he, still 20? I feel like there was some triumph of an uncluttered mind because he just went out and had fun and played every position on the floor and took over a Game 6 at Philadelphia. But in that format, in that year, they did have Game 7 in their back pocket back in L.A. if necessary.
Right.
Now back to Jordan, 1998. This is not a triumph of an uncluttered mind because his mind was extremely cluttered because it's the end of the Last Dance documentary that we just saw during the pandemic. And what is happening is Michael knows it's his last game before he's going to be forced into retirement because Phil Jackson is going to be forced out the back door by the 2 Jerrys, Krause and Reinsdorf. So Michael knows this is it. But worse, he knows he has no help on this night because Scottie Pippen not only has flu-like symptoms before the game, that's what I was told, but he's got a bad back. And he hurt it early in the game, and he ended up playing 26 minutes, but he scored 8 points with 3 rebounds and 4 assists. So the guy who was usually at least
his sidekick.
Yeah, at least he was Tonto to the Lone Ranger. At least he was Robin to Batman. Well, Robin wasn't there that night. Okay, so it's Michael or bust against a really good team that tied them for regular season record at 62-20, a team that was 36-5 at home, a team featuring a John Stockton at point guard who still is the all-time assist leader, and a Karl Malone, you could argue he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest power forward, who is still second.
Number 2 behind Tim Duncan.
He's
number 2 behind Tim Duncan.
You can go back.
But back then, he was the number 1. Yes, I give you that.
For me, Tim Duncan is not a power forward. He's a center, but that's just me. Okay, but whatever. But the point is, Karl Malone, as we speak, week is still second in all-time scoring to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he's still 1,561 points ahead of your man. And your man will probably catch him. I'm knock on wood.
Yeah, we got him this year.
You got him this year. Well, I'm knocking on wood that he stays healthy, because now you're to the point in your career where you're going to have to fight health.
Yep.
Because Father Time's just tapping you on the shoulder. You know, you are human. You are mortal, LeBron, right?
We missed 50 games basically in the last 3 years.
Okay, so 1,561 more points, and you get to number 2 on the list. And I know LeBron's ultimate goal is Kareem. It's possible, it's doable, but it's still a long, long way to go. Okay, so back to Karl Malone. So you're up against John Stockton and Karl Malone in their house in Salt Lake City, and you don't have your co-star, your second star, and you end up playing 44 minutes. Your usage rate is a record 55%, because you just said, give me the ball and get out of my way. And you score 45 of the 87 total points that it took to win this game. So it's a low-scoring game, it's a defensive battle, and you score 45 of 87. And I give you the no rebounds, no assists, because he didn't. He just said, I'm going to score the basketball.
You're like, Rodman, y'all handle that.
Okay, you handle that. So he goes for 45 points, but the crowning sequence is the final sequence. And if we could see that one more time, a quick flashback, a blast from the beautiful past. Here we go. Michael steals the ball from Karl Malone. That was his 4th steal of the game. And he's dribbling the ball up the floor, and he says, I got it, I got it, I got it. Scotty's over there calling for the ball on the wing. He's got a wide open 3. And Michael holds the pose from the free throw line and nails it. Game winner. Ball game. See you later.
Why would Jordan pass Scottie Pippen the ball when he saw how he'd been dragging up the court to hold with that bad back? Why am I going to trust you with a 3 in this situation?
Because Scotty's over there like, I'm open. I'm open. I got a picture of it. I'm open.
Okay, Skip. Okay.
And Michael takes one little glance and is like, nah.
Yeah. Okay, so we disagree.
Okay.
I believe Magic had the greatest single performance. You say it's Jordan.
Okay, because of the circumstances. Because remember, in that format, Game 7 was going to have to be at Utah.
It was 2-2-1-1-1 all the way down.
No, this was 2-3-2.
No, that was. I think talking about Magic.
The Magic one was 1-1-1, so it goes back to L.A. This one is, you're staying in Utah for Game 7, and I was told by team insiders they did not think Scotty was going to be able to go in a Game 7. So now you're going to have to go it totally alone, and he's like, I better do this right here, right now, and he did it.
Even, you and I might disagree on who's number 1.
The circumstances, because Giannis didn't have that kind of circumstance last night.
But you don't believe... Now, it's also the only second to 50-point game. Bob Pettit.
I got
58
it.
Closeout.
But I think we both agree, and I'm not trying to undercut it, but I'm going to discount it slightly. Didn't it deserve an asterisk? Assisted by Monty Williams? No, well, seriously, didn't it? Because the lack of defensive strategy, single coverage for all 6 games, including this game, until DeAndre Ayton just got completely annihilated to the point he just was like, no mas.
Well, they did single coverage Jordan the whole night with Byron Russell. I mean, why not double? Why not double and get the ball out of his hand?
They were all over him.
It makes Scotty with the bad back.
Trust me, they were flocking to him.
But the thing is, Skip, when you look at Giannis, the 50, the 14, the 5.
It's extremely, it's off the charts impressive. Just numerically, just stat line alone, you just say, that's all-time.
We disagree that it's I say Magic, you say Jordan is the number 1. But can we agree that this is a top 5 finals performance?
I'll give you that.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. Top 5.
Yeah, I do love Magic, so I'm glad you went there.
Yes.
I would make this 3rd on the list.
A 20-year-old Skip, do you think, Zion is 20. That'll be like Zion leading and winning the finals MVP. You think we'll ever see another 20-year-old do what Magic Johnson did?
I'm going to remind you, in my all-time rankings, I have Magic number 2 on my list. Second best player ever. He is and was a special human being. You had to, but Skip, the young guy, you had to see him. You had to see Magic to get appreciation of his career, because you telling about him and what, like it's kind of like people now, like only Jordan highlights because Magic wasn't soaring through the air. Now, he was a wizard. He was a magician with the basketball. He was. All this no-look that you see now, he created that. All that half-court bounce pass on the money, and James Worthy with the Statue of Liberty laying it up, or Cooper Loop on the dunk, Magic started all that. But for me, Skip, what I saw last night, I didn't see this. I didn't see a 50-piece coming. Okay, well, what did we always say about Magic? He invented the slogan, the phrase, "win in time." Yeah. You want to talk about clutch?
Yes.
You want to talk about winners' intangibles,
Right.
leadership. This guy's right there with Michael. I told you, I got it 1 and 2.
Yes.
So you already saw it. But I was there in Salt Lake City, courtside, for another game, and it happened to be Magic versus Bird in the NCAA Finals. It put college basketball back
Yes.
on the map.
Yes.
It took it out of tape delay.
Right.
It put it front and center because you had a great black player and a great white player.
That's what drove it.
Yeah,
and you brought that to the NBA, and they were in different
it
conferences.
just drove it.
And
it put
one,
the NBA on the map. Those two. So we'd already seen Magic outplay Larry. Larry had like no help.
That he was really fast. He was
1 on 5, or at least 1 on 2, because Gregory Kelser
got drafted in the first round by the Pistons. As a matter of fact, I think he still might be an analyst for the Pistons right now.
Yeah, he was a very good player, not a great player.
He was a great college player, but he was not so in the NBA.
But we saw Magic be special in that game, and so did this shock me? No, but again, I'm not trying to discount any of this, but in the end, Giannis, are you sure he's got these kind of intangibles? Does he have Jordan or Magic intangibles? I don't think so. Did he get pressed to make the last shot last night? No, because we